Hey, hi, this is Harshit. Today we'll talk about how we can make our content rank on LLMs. And as I shared, I was able to hit 5x and 3x visibility on ChatGPT as well as Perplexity. So I just want to share what are the learnings and how to actually rank your content on LLMs. So I think roughly around 4 months back, I vibe coded a tool which was this, which is still exists on Lovable, and this was just the start where you can actually enter your domain name, content type, and it started giving some kind of a suggestion as how you can optimize that content for LLMs. But before that, I think the most important thing that we need to align on is before you write any kind of content, there are actually two types of content, which is one which is kind of a company blog versus something that you will make it as LLM indexable content. So your company blog would look something like this. I think the Postdoc is the best example in the world, where these are mostly authentic company stories that people actually want to read. It could be like even your fundraise announcements, even your company milestone. It could be your product launches, case studies, any behind the scenes content related to what you shipped, what went wrong. And as you can see, like these are the exact content like what we learned about building AI powered features. So these are learnings. It could be engineering learnings, it could be technical deep dives, it could be any kind of marketing experiment, like 40 things we learned about marketing for developers. Now these are very, very authentic content. So this is what you can produce. Second, then the later part is more of an content that you want LM to index, which essentially mean you will have to do something related to programmatic SEO. So this is where you become the ultimate source of truth for this AI search engine. So it could be tool related pages, but it could be like comparison pages. It could be how to use X with Y. It could be pain point solutions, like something your the problems that your buyers specifically search for. It could be calculators. It could be any kind of generator or any kind of hacks or resources that your buyers generally need. It could be some kind of templates, or it could be basic question answer that people or buyers generally have at for your product. So these are the things that you can actually scale in such a way that LLM starts indexing them and they show up on LLMs and it is much more relatable. Uh, and every single page that you create in this has to connect back to your core product and should actually solve a real customer pain. This is not something kind of a random content and scale. It should be solving problems your customers actually have using your product. So it could be something like if you see an example like Zapier, they have created bunch of integration pages. So and if you search on, let's say if I go on ChatGPT and search how to connect Notion with what was that? Slack. I'm pretty sure Zapier name would definitely pop up here in some way or the other, and maybe a bunch of other tools. Yeah, it automatically referred, hey, use Zapier or make. And it also gave me those exact pages. If I click on this, it will take me to that integration Slack page, which is essentially these. And these are at scale. Everybody knows who has seen Zapier that they have created pages like these plenty, like a ton of them. And actually, 6, 7 years, 7 years, 8 years back, I actually took inspiration from these pages in Zapier to create a X to Y playbook that I did for an ETL company way back. So that is one a pattern. There's another example that you will see is coming from Vendr. I'm pretty sure you might have heard about this company because if you search for anything related to pricing, whether you do it on Google search or AI mode or GPT or Perplexity, you will definitely hear of Vendr because they get cited as the most authentic source of information about any company. And this is especially handy if any company who made their pricing page as talk to sales, that's where these pages will definitely show up. So I know for sure that Tegas has their own pricing page, but let's say if I let me open up a new incognito tab. The reason, yeah, I'm not using a shortcut though. What is the pricing of Tegus? Ideally, it should, yeah, I think first is vendor. So it will get cited, and they have created like plenty of pages like this. Third company that I would like to call out in this one would be Clay. So if you search, go to this URL, you will see all the companies. So what they have done, they have created pages specific to company name, who is the CEO of that company, right? And their entire bio. Company name, how much did they raise, and what was their funding and key investor. So let's say if I go to this particular page, I will see the entire detail about that person, background, all of it. And then if I go to some other page, I'll see their latest. What is that company? What do they do? What's their funding, investors, everything. And this is directly tied to their product, right? This is specifically tied to their product. Anybody who reaches these pages, they will essentially use Clay or will get to know about Clay. So now let's say if I just search for this question, which because this is a typical question which anybody would search for, right? This is like a phrase that people will type or people will search on LLM chats. So let's say sorry for this delay, but yeah, this time we go here. Although I'm using that specific term, so of course there's a high chance that it will pick data from there. But it has given me a bunch of other sources, including Clay, right? So they have created a bunch of pages. I think I haven't checked their sitemap, but I'm pretty sure these are more than 10,000 or 20,000 or 50,000. I don't know. It's a huge amount of data set. So yeah, taking inspiration from these, what I created was we created query and optimization hub where we were saying or helping people who related to our buyer as what are the cost and query optimization techniques, because this is what our buyer generally search for. So first, this is the core thing. You have to figure out what is that exact content that people are searching for at scale that you want to write on. It could be something related to Notion and Slack. It could be something related to Vendr is doing with pricing. It could be something that Clay is doing with giving all the enrichment kind of information. So once you find that gap, you need to run a couple of prompts to use that dig that information, or maybe you can analyze that information using. Yeah. So what I did was I actually created this entire setup inside Quebec. For this, what I did, it already has all my buyer calls. It has information related to my competitor. It has information related to all the call insights, which means what kind of buyer pain points that are being mentioned in the call and stuff like that. So this is just a demo account that I created. It will have all the outcomes benefit that has been mentioned in my calls. Yeah. So since I have all of this, what I did was I created two assets. First, I went in and I entered this lengthy prompt, which gave me, hey, what are the ways that you can analyze your competitive and buyer data, and using data from Reddit and bunch of other places, reviews, Reddit, community, all of that data. So I combined all of that information to tell me, hey, what are the content opportunities? Like it said, hey, you can write on content related to like industry, because there were a couple of calls related to one particular industry. It could be like versus pages, because a lot of people in our calls or from the reviews are asking about versus. It could be something related to again another on a particular use case or another industry. So it gave me a bunch of other examples at what can I write. As you can see, these are actually data coming from the call. So these are the exact evidences that were mentioned in the call. So that's why these are actually coming from that raw call data. So yeah, it used my call to actually create some kind of a example, as these are the possible ways that you can create your content. Then I wrote another prompt, which was effectively related to, yeah. Then I asked, hey, you know what? using all that gaps, now tell me where should I write that content strategy? Like write that content strategy if I have to do some displacement, if I have to write some kind of a cost calculator, give me all those programmatic SEO playbook. Then it gave me a bunch of these. I think these are pretty good. By the way, I've shared these prompts in the newsletter, but those are sample examples. I think these prompts need to be tweaked as per your company, as per your use case, whatever you want to write on. So yeah, I saved it all these as document instead of any kind of a battle card or something like that. Although even if I'm creating a versus page, so yeah, once these are created, I asked it to write a blog content for me, and this is what it wrote. So this was the final. I said, hey, you know what? Write one SEO optimized programmatic content. This is this. And I gave it a proper prompt. Hey, this is what I want you to do. And this is the final output that it generated, which you can see here. It actually generated a YAML, which I can attach at the top of the page on the header, and it gave me the entire example. I can review this content, or I can run another prompt which can optimize this as per geo so that it gets indexed on LLMs. Once that is done, I can actually just copy and paste and ship it to any place. I just need to review the content. The only thing is you can make it more granular by actually using public data, which is from reviews, from your calls, from your comparative battle cards. That will make it more authentic. And here you can enter your own personal input. If you know, if you're already aware, if you follow this newsletter, you know that I have a similar setup that I have created inside Cursor, which creates my newsletter. So these are all the newsletter that you are reading right now is coming from Cursor, where I just enter my thinking input, and there's a script which runs everything, and it starts creating content for me. So yeah, this is what you need to do, and it will give you the final output. I've also added the prompt which can review your produced or the final content as per geo. Once that is done, there are a couple of things that I would like you to review from a content side of, or I would say from a technical optimization point of view. If your website runs on Cloudflare, I would highly suggest you to review your robots.txt file, because in the past I've seen them block all the LLM crawlers by default. So make sure that yours is not. This is how your robots.txt file should look like if you want it to like get crawled by all the other LLM crawlers. If you have your pages on GitHub, it's amazing because GitHub pages get indexed way faster. So for example, if you search for anything related to books or playbooks related to Anthropic or Claude, I'm pretty sure you will get links from this particular GitHub page. There are plenty more pages from GitHub. If you are in developer marketing or developer tech, I would highly recommend you to create a lot of GitHub pages, which could be read.md files, but do create them. So yeah, you create your robot.txt, make sure that is there. If you have everything on GitHub, make sure that you have proper and thorough documentation on GitHub. And you can also attach all of them in a file called as llms.txt. I'm pretty sure you might have heard of this. So this is just a file which is there. Make sure all the web page platforms already, be it Framer, be it Webflow, all of them are already giving you ways to standardize the entire website to be machine readable. So you can append this to your page and make sure that you have a llm.txt or markdown file of your website so that it's easier for the LLM to index. So yeah, all of this is covered in the newsletter. I hope now you understand like how to create it. These are all the experiments that I did. Some of them worked, some of them didn't. One thing for sure that I would say it definitely works in this landscape is invest a lot of time in finding that gap which you think is important for your buyers. Once you nail that gap down, you can create these pages. Like literally you can create millions of these pages if you have, like, let's say if your entire website is running on a Next.js, you can connect through Cursor or some other logic and you can just start creating pages like on the go. Today, I have the power to create a million pages with authentic data on a particular topic, as long as that data or that output is connected to my product. I can create that. If you don't have that connection, it would be hard for you to create those pages which would be used as a source of truth by the LLMs. Otherwise, I would highly recommend you to stick to content like these for your blog, or for which is coming out from your company or from your newsletter. Make it very, very specific, make it very, very human, make it very specific to what makes your company unique and what you do on a regular basis. For others, for machine readable things, I would suggest anchoring on problem solution things, anchoring on comparison pages, anchoring on a lot of pages which would be searched by your buyers. So I'm also attaching this page in case anybody wants. You can just like update the key and run this and see how the output looks like. Hope this helps. Thank you.